Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the Sunday night hanging right here on, well, Sundays, because it's easier than finding a new name. And I want to have welcome back to the channel, YouTuber, social media influencer, calendar aficionado, the one and only Sean Pierce Johnson, folks.
Hello, Mr. Coombs. That one was just for you. But there will be many more of those to come later in the night. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Doing well. You know, I wish I was in Southern California like yourself, but
maybe.
Hey, we've been having frost warnings already at night.
Oh dear. Okay.
Yeah, summer's over, and
it's gotten a little bit warmer this week. I was kind of looking forward to the downturn in temperature. At the end of August, man, it was just like, it was brutal. Day after day, upper 90s, starting to get into the hundreds. It was not comfortable.
Yeah, that's not SoCal. That's
Arizona. That's borderline Arizona right there.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I don't know if I've ever said this on the stream. I know I've said it on my own streams in the past. Like when it's summertime and I have to film demos in this room with all the lights that I have to run and all the gear that's in here. This is actually, the camera makes it seem bigger than it is, but it is very small. It's just like, no, it's not a huge room. And, you've been in this room.
I've been in that room.
You've been in this room.
I've loitered in that room, folks. I've noodled in that room.
He's loitered. He's noodled. Yep. He's done everything short of unspeakable acts in this room, which he will never get a chance to do. I don't play that way.
No, actually, yeah. And by that, he meant slagging a Jennings. I'm like, I played it. I loved it.
Yeah. But yeah, it just gets so freaking hot in here. And it's one of those things, like, even though I have air conditioning, it cannot keep up with the equipment heat, the light heat.
Yeah.
So for the end of the last 3 weeks of summer, it's the dog days in here, man. The absolute dog days.
That's when, basically it's like, try to shoot as much as I can in the morning.
Well, if I'm lucky.
If you're lucky.
Yeah. Because all my neighbors, of course, like my neighbors have gardeners that come and do their landscaping, or there's the street sweepers, there's the trash truck. They all come in the morning. Plus, despite the fact that I've been for 4 years almost having to wake up early to play at church for Sunday mornings and a couple times during the week, I am still not a morning person. I will never be a morning person. I was not created to be a morning person.
No, he was not, folks. I know. I text the fella. And I'm like, oh, Sean will be up. No, why? I'm like, no, he's not. No, he's not. Mm-mm. And I'm not a morning person. So
no.
I get it.
I'm sometimes lucky if I don't get rolling until maybe 1 p.m.
Exactly.
But that's actually better for me.
That's as a true musician should.
Well, I guess.
We're going to look at the chat here. Welcome in, everybody. We got so far 36 filing in, more to come, I guarantee. First one in the chat at 11:37 a.m. Earl asking what we're drinking tonight. We got an A&W root beer on the go, Earl.
Classic. I'm drinking some iced tea I made right now. I also have 3 other drinks around me because I'm one of those guys that just gets thirsty. So I got water.
Is the spice of life.
Yeah, I got water. I got iced tea. I got some sparkling waters. Mint mojito from LaCroix, if you must know.
Oh, how very Orange County of you.
Indeed. About the only thing missing from it is whatever booze goes into a mojito, which I'd have no clue what
I assume rum, because Caribbean.
Rum, or I've heard tequila. I don't even know. I don't travel in those circles to find out enough. I'm a guy that I like to go to the Total Wine or the Bevmo, or the Whole Foods near me has a great beer selection. So I'll go there. I'll grab a 6-pack or a couple bottles of something that's nice and hoppy, and that I'm good. That's me. That's me. That's how I roll.
I know, having partaken in cold snack consumption with the gentleman. Speaking of cold snack consumption, there's my cousin Doug. He and I have imbibed together on occasion.
Well,
nope, you're early. That's fine. Then we got Terry's 3Gs with all the links there to Sean's fine stuff.
Appreciate that.
Awesome. Hey, we got Mr. BHB Jr. himself. There's Bruce. What's up, Bruce?
Hello.
And we got Billy Baloney's here.
All the B names. Here's a nice B chord for all the B names.
And then I go up with Wayne McConnell.
There's no W chord. No M chord. I'm sorry.
Paul McNary and all the cats. You can tell by the way.
Whoa.
There we go.
Cats and black.
There's not enough room for him in the chat with all the cats. Apparently.
Cats and black dots. At least on my end.
And Dave Chase is here. Awesome. 6-string Stanger. Great to see Dave. Who else? There's Charles 75N. He had a wonderful show earlier today.
Hey, pal. Good to see you.
Chatting with Charles. He had Searching for Tone. There's Searching for Tone right there. He had who's new to the community. He's been doing his channel for about 7 months now.
Excellent.
And you know what? It's scary how smooth he is in front of the camera after 7 months. Because I watched stuff I shot 2 years in, and I'm like, woohoo!
You do it consistently enough. You do it long enough. You just get better and better.
There's RJ the Mad One of the
YouTube RJ?
Right. Great to see ya. Oboe Roadie's here. Awesome. And of course, yes, unfucking believable. I'm just here for the calendar.
I wish I had one for you. I apologize. You guys have to remember something. For those of you that remember my live stream days, I had the calendar thing, but once that ended, I only really got the calendars for you guys.
Yeah.
After that, the calendar's down in the office now.
Yeah, and then it's just like, and dare that you do a live stream on like the 2nd of the month and hadn't flipped the calendar yet.
Yeah, God forbid it was on a weekend too, and my week was just too busy to remember.
Now, if it's the 13th, I'm calling you out, type thing. We're halfway through the month at that point.
That's yeah, basically.
We got Hit Metalworks is here. Awesome.
What's up, pal?
Cushman NYC. That was great to see Cush. There's Michael B. Lee Elbarge himself. Who else do we have here? There's Patrick Traits. There's Brother Trev, aka Symmetry. It finally stopped raining there. He's in outside Vancouver, and they've had what they refer to as an atmospheric river, to the point where, I shit you not, Sean, we were looking, there was 8 inches of rain in under a day, so the streets were flooded. Salmon were swimming up the streets. And I was like, is there a more Pacific Northwest thing in the world than salmon going up the streets when it's flooded?
Wow. Well, it depends on the way that we look at the Pacific Northwest. I'd say if you're looking at the Pacific Northwest from the sort of native perspective, like there is nothing more Pacific Northwest. Were there bears by the street too?
Probably shortly in behind, right?
Because that would be a sight.
Yeah, like sure. I'm like a fellow would be firing up the smoker there and just snag. There's Milk Tea in the house. Great to see Milk. And we got our good friend Jim, JP Page 2. Who else we have? Stephen Douglas is here, along with Marsha Murray.
Good to see y'all.
Mention Dan Gorman. Well, if not, we just did. What's up, Dan?
And if he did, you get 2 mentions, so you're special.
Here's BC Rich 581. Oh, a headless base he went to try yesterday. Yeah, you missed the what we call the Water Buffalo meeting for patrons and channel members. That was yesterday afternoon. We had a few people join for the first time, which was awesome because they're like, "Oh, that's what you look like. I've been reading your name for years." Cushman, for instance. I've known Cush. I'm pretty sure I've known Cush as long as I've been doing YouTube. And also,
Cush. Now I can put a name to the face or a face to the name. Isn't that good? Like
it is.
The chronically online world that we live in, it's very good to be able to actually put faces to these
Michael
names.
Krause, however, wasn't there. Just saying. I was hoping you'd be there, Michael Krause.
It's okay, everybody. If you weren't there, I wasn't there either.
Yeah. Mark Taft, he had phone issues, so he missed the meeting and then texted me to apologize for missing the meeting. I'm like, well, there's always the next one.
Phone issues.
And Blue Mox is here. That's how I do roll call and just include them in the conversation. Somehow, so Rock Daddy. Good to see you. Which every time I see his name, I always hear Rock Candy by Montrose, though. So, Christopher Live Sova. Great to see you. Who else? Eddie Van Haskell, another OG.
Hello, Eddie.
Keith H is here.
Hey, Keith. How you doing, buddy?
M is for Mixolydian. Yes, it is.
Mixolydian. Mixolydian makes it sound like an offshoot children's network.
Yeah, that's true.
Mix. I use
that Mixoplikian. That's the one I use myself.
Mixolithian?
Mixoplikian.
Mixoplikian.
Like Mixoplick.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Comic book fans are laughing. There's Bo, Guitar Man 45, OG of the community. Yeah, there's Richard Clark as well. Great to see you.
Hello, Richard.
Corey's Garden is here, of course. And that's a good thing that you do, bud. What else we got here? Oh, nope. I thought I was caught up, and then I just loaded more. That's fine.
Oh, that's a good problem to have.
Yep. He said, oh, see, wait. This is where I do the meme. Wait, you edit? And everyone pictured the face of that guy, right?
Yeah.
You guys get it?
You guys are getting paid?
Right.
So good. That's actually a really funny movie. And that actor is actually very good. And he's unironically hilarious he's in one of the Narnia movies.
Okay.
And he plays like this really stuck up, uptight British kid.
Mm-hmm.
Unironically, he's very funny.
Here we got the Tone Yeager 72. Met him earlier today over in Charles' channel. He came over from Searching for Tone community. Welcome. Who else we got here? Al's G is in the house.
Just lurking though. You know what? I'll play a G for Al's G.
We got Dennis Ellis here.
Hey Dennis, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you here.
I'm close. There we go. Oh, nope, just throwing it out there. I had a brief chat the other day with Burton Cummings. Hard to believe that guy is still touring at 77.
Yep. Man, a lot of guys, they don't want to get off the road, and I totally get it. You know, especially when that's like your whole life. Why would you want to stop doing something that keeps you going?
Right. And I'm not saying he has a couple ex-wives to support at all. I'm not saying that. First question tonight, SPJ's favorite gear 2024. What are you both looking forward to in 2025?
Ooh, that's a good question. Thank you for it. I might be holding one of them right now. These Hills headless guitars have been popping up on other channels recently. I know Phil McKnight just put up a video of his. His is in the orange. This is in the white. Wow. And I didn't actually mention this in the video that I did of the demo for this, but this is actually a production prototype. So I don't even have the one. I have the final approved. This is the way that it's going to be. And it's really great. I did not expect to gravitate towards it as much as I have, but
Manfred Nesbitt.
Neck is super comfortable. Stainless steel frets, roasted maple neck, rosewood fretboard, lightweight, everything fit, finish, very good, stays in tune really well. I do see a normal neck or a neck like that thing that it looks like. So I'm assuming he means a Strandberg neck. It's normal, kind of classic.
Yeah, because the Strandberg has that really asymmetrical neck.
Yeah, the Endura neck, which you wouldn't think when you pick one up, you're just like, there's no way that this is going to be good. But having spent a little bit of time with a Strandberg and playing it, actually ends up like there's no issue with this whatsoever. And I actually think for a lot of guys that their playing style ends up having them more in the classical position of fretting the guitar, where your thumb is anchored on the back of the neck. I actually think ergonomically that's probably going to end up being a better long-term choice. But this thing's $500 shipped in the US. $500
That's about
$750
Canadian. That's fine.
There is no competitor at the price.
No, because basically, I'm just saying at that price point, you're looking at basically a Classic 5 Squire is the only. Well, some of the Geos are starting to get into that price. Like you're looking at really low end Ibanez, low end Fender Squire, but that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. That's kind of it. Other than or like the Horde of Jungle website guitars, which most of those are guitar shaped objects.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of the weird thing with the headless thing. Now that I'm actually getting into it and I'm enjoying this guitar, I'm starting to think of this outside what you think a headless guitar is used in. So that's why in the video I do spend a little bit of time with it, kind of in a more like classic rock or even rootsy kind of idea, because I just wanted to start busting the headless out of that metal instrumental fusion frame,
like shred.
Right,
you gotta play all the notes.
And I mean that's all well and good, and it's not a big problem. But
exactly, Mike. That's using them Fender money.
It's a very comfortable neck, and you can do the big wide silly stretches and whatnot. But at the end of the day, if I do the clean thing, split the pickups, like that's a very good. That's like session clean sound right there. And it works great for it. So, and what I'm really looking at right now with this and why I like it is it's just a really comfortable guitar and an easy guitar to pick up.
Sure. And that's a big deal.
Yeah, it really is.
We're not in the world like my dad's generation where guys had one guitar, maybe two, and then one amp. Whereas now, generally, most guys have some form of a rack. So why do I grab this guitar over that guitar, right?
Right.
Other than our tools of the trade I grab a Tele for a Tele thing, I grab a Les Paul for a Les Paul thing, but I just want to sit and play.
Right.
All right. What guitar speaks to me?
Hey, behind the curtain you see over my shoulder is a guitar rack with 6 guitars on it. It's mostly the guitars that I use for for demos, and it's also the stuff that I'll end up using for like songwriting or anything of that nature.
Yep.
But there are other things on there that are more like my session or my church go-tos. For example, like the Jennings. That'll be one that I often go to for that. I see Michael's comment.
Like in your dad's defense, all you need is a Tele.
For real. That's no lie. I will die on the hill that the Telecaster is far more versatile than the Stratocaster.
Yep.
I'll die on that hill. But as far as other gear, I mean, the year is not done yet. So as far as what I've seen now, PRS MT 100 blew my mind. I'm keeping it. And that is not that was a video that I did in collaboration with Zounds through their affiliate thing. And I will be financially responsible for that amp. So I will have to, at the end of the year, I'll be paying for that in a different way than just dropping down the scratch for it, but I will still have to invest to keep that thing. And I want to invest to keep that thing. Sure. Different flavor than the orange. The two of them, oh my God. Go another guitar I loved, the EVH SA 126, did a video of that.
I was going to get to that.
few
Yes.
weeks ago. That guitar is just between the 3 semi-hollows that I got, the Tom
Yeah, I noticed there was a theme for a while there.
It was the September semi-hollows, bro. What can I tell you?
Yep.
But the Tom DeLonge Starcaster, the Dave Grohl Epiphone, and the EVH SA126. The Tom DeLonge Starcaster sits on a strap the best. So it actually, as a guitar for performance, it is the most comfortable to perform with. And that Seymour Duncan custom pickup in it is fantastic.
Well, this is the thing I was gonna say, because I've played 2 of the 3 guitars. Like the only thing I haven't played is the SA126 yet. The Tom DeLonge, I went, wow, this is a one-trick pony, but holy crap, it does that trick amazing.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, I couldn't believe the tone. I'm like,
and I actually have gotten some like reasonable versatility out of the one pickup because it has the treble bleed on it. Like that was a big, big help.
Yeah,
so
because
running
it cleans up very nice.
Yeah, so running that with like the Keeley Muse driver, which now is the Mark III driver, little extra compression in front of that, and then do like the dual delay thing with the halo, and then a stereo reverb. You know, that kind of served as a foundational thing for me to use a couple times that I ended up playing that guitar at church. But that guitar feels the most comfortable performance wise. And even though it seems like a one-trick pony, it does that trick really, really well.
Yeah, like I was like, if I was doing basically what Tom DeLonge does, you know, that pickup, it's got enough output. It hits an amp really nice. And I was playing it through a Princeton. And it sounded great.
And it's such a unique look too.
Yeah.
You know, the Starcaster in and of itself is it's typical Fender, but it's atypical Fender.
Yeah.
And then you couple that with like the really dark roasted maple neck, that 70s Strat headstock. It's a total vibe. The Dave Grohl Epiphone looks the nicest. It's got great features, and it is probably the most, I would say, in my hands feels best. The neck is a good chunk to it. You get the USA pickups, you get the more, you know, Gibson minded accompaniment on an Epiphone, but the EVH sounds the best.
Right. And that was interesting because they did a change. And I remember when they first released it, the initial, I don't know what to call it, marketing, I guess, that went out. They were saying, because it originally came with Wolfgang pickup in it. And I went, that's not going to work. That's too hot for a semi-hollow body like that. Like, again, it'd probably be okay in the studio, but definitely not at stage volume.
Do you mean that when they were talking about the prototypes?
When he was running, before there was a video that came out prior to the later, it was like 3 months prior, maybe 6, I don't know. But it must have been a prototype. It was just basically a propaganda piece. This is coming, blah, blah, blah. And it had a Wolfgang pickup in it. And I went, I don't think that's going to work. And then when they came around, they're like, we did this specific voice lower pickup, blah, blah, blah. I was like, because I know Wolfgang likes a hot pickup like his dad, but you can only go so hot with chambers, you know.
Well, the good thing here is it is a different pickup, but the one thing that I thought was really interesting is that they're hard mounted into the guitar like the Wolfgangs. So you can't, even though it has pickup rings, you can't adjust the height of those pickups. They're there. But the reason that I piggybacked off of the MT100 is there's a clip in the video for the SA126 where I run the rocker verb, which is always the mainstay. I run a Westminster Effects Physician Overdrive, just as kind of like your typical high gain boost thing into the dirty channel, then also into the MT100, both high gain channels at the same time. Buddy. Oh, son, tell me. Oh, the clouds opened up and God said, Sean, this is the sound that I want for you. And it was good.
I get it.
he heard that sound and he said it was good. Not to put words in his mouth, but it was a great. Like I listened back to him, just like, yup, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
So between this, the SA 120, all those semi hollows are great guitars. You just have to decide what your vibe is, really. I did use the Dave Grohl last week at church for the midweek prayer, which we're actually streaming now. So if anybody wants to check out what I'm playing at church and hear it, our guy mixing that set is getting very good. So if you want to see how I use the stuff in that environment, that's a good place to do it. But I used the Dave Grohl Epiphone. Dave Grohl Epiphone was feeling really good that day. The MT100 is doing good. But as far as like gear looking forward to in 2025, I mean, geez, we still have stuff to come now. I really want to try the new Mark II ACS-1 from Walrus, because the ACS-1 Mark I has been the main thing that I use for the church gig.
Right.
But now they finally have high gain amps in the modeling.
Ooh.
And they have a Rocker Verb 100 and a 5150.
Oh, wow.
And a dual rectifier modeled. So it's the 3 amps that I wanted them to model in a high gain firmware, and there it is.
Right.
So now it's like, all right, here's the incentive to learn how to program MIDI changes where I can get my dual clean, like a Fender style amp and a Marshall style amp, and then I can have my rectifier or 5150 and orange combo and go between those. I'm very excited to check that out.
I'm just going to FYI, Michael's FYI. Also, Reeves Gabrels has been known to play with feedback. That's why he runs high output pickups in his non-F-hole semi-hollows and non-F-hole for that reason. That's why you can get away with it like in a Gretsch Jet, which is completely chambered. You can put a hot pickup in it because it is kind of sealed, but you can't have the openings as much. And I think that's probably one of the reasons the SA has one E-hole as opposed to 2 F-holes.
Yeah, there's definitely less chambering in the SA 126 than I think people realize. But other than that, I mean, like there's so much gear. I really reserve making comments about what my favorite stuff is for a year until the end of the year. But this is just, it's been a good gear year. Probably a better year, I think, for guitars than it has been for pedals or amps.
I'm going to say that this has been the year for more pedal refinement than new. Healy has continued to rebrand himself in a way, which he didn't need to.
No.
But this whole, like the series with the new pedal forms, like the MK3, this new look and just reland.
That series is fantastic. 3 out of the 5 in the line are on my board right now, and it's my entire drive section. They're fantastic. And then the stinking Octosi that came out.
I got the Noble Screamer on my board.
Oh, excellent. That's the one that I have not played yet.
Which I've yet to flip to the Tube Screamer side.
Okay.
Because I got it on the pure thing that I'm like, what? Keeley did a Nobles? Yes, please.
Okay.
And it was actually Keeley put out a video with Bukovac, and it was B-roll, and Bukovac being Bukovac's just sitting there noodling, and he's like, "That's my pedal, right?" And Robert's like, "No, that's mine." He's like, "Oh, really?" And I went, "Sold." I don't even need to see the actual demo.
There you go. Yeah, man, it's a great thing.
Hold on. Wait, hey Ben, what's going on? Who's your guest there? Wait, that's not Robert Baker. What a jip. I'm out of here.
Always great to have a Quentin James drive by.
Right?
Oh.
And I believe you may be the OG of the drive-by.
Really?
I believe so.
Wow.
I believe so. I'd have to look for sure, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, because I think he wanted to come on just to look at your calendar.
Oh, it's always the calendar.
Always
the calendar.
Quentin James, folks. Pops.
Yep.
Yeah,
Pops.
he's the only one.
Yeah, other than that, like, thank you, sir. Appreciate the drive by. Yeah, I'm not.
With his new show, Guitar Talk Universe, no less.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
There's John. John here, Australia.
Just as long as he drives.
Melbourne.
Yeah, I really don't like to say what my favorite thing is until everything is done. But like I said, it's been a better year for guitars. The pedal refinement thing, that's a good observation. I would definitely agree with you there. The Keeley stuff is
my cousin
definitely
finally returned. That's nice. You can tell that he came in and he left, and because he was hanging out with this guy, which is the other co-host of the live streams from the Down and Back Cornhole podcast. He doesn't really have a podcast anymore. He goes live once a week with Donnie, and then he goes and covers events, but rarely does he actually do a podcast anymore. I'm just saying. I don't know why. All right, see, there we go. Quentin agrees. Is the OG of the QFJ drive-by.
All right. Well,
so
good to know.
And he wouldn't lie.
No, he wouldn't lie.
Okay, you weren't hanging out with that guy. That guy.
But who else has been refining their stuff? I don't know. It just kind of feels like that's the mode right now of pedals.
I just like that's the vibe. Whether it's true or not, that's the vibe I'm getting. Like,
everybody's got a line, and they all have a thing that they do. Nobody's really doing. I'd say
VHS really put out anything new.
Yeah, they have. Yes.
But he did the big thing with the 3 Series a couple years ago, so I'm good for a while.
Yeah, they did the hard drive distortion, and then they did those Beach Boys pedals as well.
Yeah.
But the thing I kind of feel...
Wait, how much of a Beach Boys... I love the Beach Boys, but how much of a Beach Boys market is there these days?
That's a really good question. I think what you really have to do is... I think what you really have to do as far as that goes is you have to almost take away the Beach Boys factor and just focus on what exactly it is that you're getting. Because I know one of those pedals was basically like a bass channel strip. So you have to just think of it like that.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I mean, it's tough to say with JHS because it almost feels like now the brand is fine. I was actually having a conversation with a buddy about Walrus similarly earlier today, where it just seems like the company's fine and they can kind of do whatever they want.
Right.
And the product isn't going to be bad. So that's
no. And again, so then you get into like a refinement, maybe like a Mark II, something we've wanted to adjust, tweak.
Right. We're going to make some improvements to the thing that we've already done. We're going to do...
Because Beach Boys market is just John Stamos fans.
I mean, hey, okay. Why not?
Who doesn't like Uncle Joey? Just saying.
That's Jesse. He's
Uncle
Jesse.
Thank you.
Jesse. Get it right, Ben.
All right. Well, it shows how much of a fan of the show I really was.
Yeah, right. It was a little before my my time.
It was perfect for my younger sister's demographic. I'll just tell you that.
Yeah. It had kind of...
I remember it would come on. I'm like, I'm going to go play guitar now.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, so it'll be...
there we go. Billy. Jesse and the Rippers are my biggest influence.
Oh, there you go. I'm not sure if that shows his age or not. All right, here we go. Yeah. As far as 2025, I don't know, man. Do you have anything that you're really looking forward to?
I'm so out of the loop, I swear, these days that I don't know. I used to be in the loop, Sean. I used to know stuff. And then I walk in the music store one day and there's a whole line of Black Star pedals out. And I'm like, there would have been a time I would have known about these months in advance.
Yeah.
And,
it's weird how I'll just answer the question because I could wax about this for a very long time. I'm not really looking forward to anything. I truly don't look forward to anything.
I think part of it is I stopped tone chasing.
Yeah, you find things that just work, and
Yeah,
eventually,
I'm actually happy with my tone for the
Yeah.
first time in 35 years, or
well, there you
I
go.
guess a year ago, so 34.
And
And
you
I
know,
went, I'm kind of good. Now it's
Yeah.
just buying guitars to play
Yeah.
with the tone, you know.
And right now I would say I'm in a mode where it's like, okay, the band is working on new tunes. Me and the wife have been writing, we're demoing out stuff right now, and we're in the process of putting a band back together.
Yay!
So, yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I don't know when, but it's definitely gonna happen.
I like it.
But it's been a process of just like doing that. And once I'm kind of in that process, like now it's becoming a thing of finding the stuff to actually make the music more interesting. So I think, should fortune smile upon me and the blessing come, there's going to be more acquisition of like studio equipment. Like,
Hey,
actually, one of the more exciting things I saw at last year's NAMM show was actually the return of the friggin' not the the Fairchild compressor. Like
right?
the old 20 some odd tubes.
Yeah.
The company and the guy that revamped Telefunken is revamping Fairchild. And I was walking the pro audio area with our church's sound guy, and we both just like stopped in our tracks right in front of it.
Right.
And I'm just like, dude, I don't know if you got a meeting to go to, but I am listening to this thing right now. So I got to play around with a stereo Fairchild compressor, hear it through some tracks, and it was just like, yeah, man, that's
a next level nerddom.
That's next level nerddom right there for sure. And so that's kind of the stuff that's getting me jazzed is.
And yes,
like
Charles, Sean did just say he was on a mission from God. He's not the only one.
I'm on a mission from
Guitar Man 45 is get this, Sean. Our friend Guitar Man 45, who's been, used to gig back in the day, stopped, raised the family. He's got other commitments, fine. Took his daughter to I think it was like Lynch Mob was coming through this summer. Took her to see Lynch Mob. And she's like, you should do this. And he's like, what? Like playing a band again? She's like, no, put on shows. So not only is he putting the band back together, he's also opening his own venue.
Oh, wow.
I'm just like,
okay.
That's a lot. That's
awesome. That is a lot. Best of luck.
Too.
Best of luck. And that is awesome.
Right.
That is great.
So he's also been saying he's been on a mission from God, trying to find players to play with.
Oh, dude, it's
all the fun stuff.
And it's even worse now. It is the worst time to find band members. The absolute worst it's ever been. And anybody who is intelligent enough, and I feel like you all watching are intelligent enough to know the things that make it difficult to find people.
Right. Actually, I got a book Bo for another guest spot so we can talk about this because he had his first session yesterday. Hey, Speaker! Good to see you.
So yeah, we'll see how things go, but definitely we're putting the band back together.
I like it.
Putting the band back together. There's actually I am a Smashing Pumpkins fan, and I am not ashamed of it. Some people look at
because I've never heard any Pumpkins in your playing at all, ever.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially when you may have or may not have a Lester Pulphus-shaped object in your hands.
Yeah. No. Nobody would know. But there's actually a quote that Billy said in like a blog post years ago when he was getting ready to reform the Pumpkins after the breakup. I don't know where exactly. I saved it on my phone, and it's somewhere buried in the many, many, many things that I have saved on my phone. But it can be found, and it's just like, I want my band back. I want my songs back. I want my dreams back.
Right.
And unfortunately for the two of us, the band has always been the wife and I. It always has been. And
Right.
unfortunately, a lot of the things that we put into it, the people that we brought into the fold, didn't either fully commit or they never understood the vision. Well, the vision it's not changed per se. Instead, there's a different spirit behind it now that feels a little bit more like urgent, and it feels a bit more focused. And because of that, we can't go to the same wells of people that we once looked for bandmates in. It's just not going to happen. We lost bandmates because of everything from mental problems to alcoholism to going off the deep end politically for one reason or another. And so now it's just like, okay, we have a community of musicians that we can turn to, but now it's finding the ones that understand our genre. And
well, unfortunately, there is a talent pool in your neck of the woods. Yeah, knowing that a neighbor of yours basically put a band together, over the last couple of years, and he's doing pretty good himself. So I'm just saying, I know there is a talent pool there, which is nice, of a variety of genres and stuff. But and the nice thing too is reforming. Dare I say, at this age, whatever, you're not dealing with a bunch of 22-year-olds that with all the ego and none of the brains. Type thing. It's like, you get a lot of guys that are just like, the kids are old enough to take care of themselves. I want to get back out playing, or, I'm in a place in my life where I have the ability, I have the time, whatever it is.
Yeah. And I think the good thing too is that I know that there are guys, and maybe even there's some girls that we can turn to, and we can talk to them about being part of something and actually going into it. I think for me now, it's like, we know a lot of people younger than us right now.
Right.
And I would say we know musicians now that are at least a decade younger than us right now, but they all have good heads on their shoulders now.
Right.
Whereas when we were a decade younger, I didn't necessarily feel like everybody had a good head on their shoulders.
Sure.
Now
I was in a band where one band member was 11 years younger than me, and another band member was 11 years older than me.
Ah, interesting. That's quite an age separation for the one guy.
It was great. It was great.
Hey, as long as it worked out. That's
that was the thing. And I was the latecomer. The two of them found a synergy as a guitar player and bass player.
Okay.
And I'll be Richie, one of my best friends, he's an old soul, so that helps, But then he's bringing stuff to the table. He's like, let's do this Muse cover. I'm like, I know of Muse. I don't know, but it was great.
Sure.
It really worked.
Sure.
Michael B. He's got the best story finding his bandmates. Two guys that had this band together for some time, and they're looking high and low for a bass player, and it turns out like Michael lives like 2 doors down from the one dude.
Oh, that's awesome.
So they're like, oh, he's right there.
We don't have to do anything.
And like you say, it's like better enjoy weekly rehearsals and the occasional show. And there's that thing, rehearsals are fun, in many ways. As you get together, you're making the music because there is that synergy. But then when you perform live, where it's like, I don't know, it's like weird math. You can be 4 people on stage, but it feels like 8 because it's firing on all cylinders and amazing. Hey, Chad Dawson himself, legend. What's up,
Hello.
Chad?
Yeah, and it's very interesting for me right now. I'm the one who gets the chance to play on stage and with people more than my wife does right now. Actually, she doesn't get a chance at all because she is not on the church's worship team like I am. She's made that decision, and I totally get it because she's got her own things that she's dealing with physical health wise. So we want her to get healthy before she gets back on a stage and starts performing.
True that.
Because the music that we make, it's not music you stand still on stage playing. So for me,
we'll see how that goes, Sean, with the new material. You're like, you know what? Maybe I won't move around quite as much for a few songs.
Well, I mean, I did hurt my shoulder last year, so there's a little bit of that, but
not that I'm speaking from experience. What's up, Josh?
No, there's still some energy, and
I used to be able to jump off this riser no problem. Now it's like, whoa.
Yeah, well, all I can say is I can't wait for the day that we can actually come back and play a proper show, because I haven't played a proper show in a very long time, and I think that it's going to be almost like a cathartic release to just go for it.
I get that. Yeah, it's been a while for me.
Yeah. And it's like the material hasn't gotten any softer.
No.
It's funny how like I am at the age that I am. It's like, oh, I'm ready to buy an 8-string now.
I get it. It's like, it's like in some ways I've mellowed with age, like the cliche goes, but in other ways it's like, no, I still like my heavy tones. I'm just not as angry. So I can write heavy music.
Oh no, I'm definitely still angry. I still got that. I'm angry about different things now as opposed to when I was younger. But I would say that what I really have enjoyed is there's one song in particular that we have yet to start the demo of, that I got the idea for the main riff because I was toying around with the Chase Bliss Therme pedal, and I got this sound that was just like perfect. And I started playing this little thing, and it's very pretty. It was very like atmospheric. But then the wife heard it, and she's like, "I like that. Record it." So I recorded it, and she wrote lyrics to it, and it's just like, bro, this is gonna. I told her, like, if we get the blessing enough to have a career long term, and we have fans that become fans of ours over the long period of time, this is going to be the deep cut they want us to play live, that we maybe don't play all the time we play live, but this is going to be the song they want to hear live.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, so good. The song form is not like a normal song at all. There's really only one chorus. It's fantastic. Nice. I love it. I can't wait to do it, but it's going to be really complicated to make it work on the recording.
What's up, Jeff K? He says, has anyone used BandMix website to vet local players to join a band? I have not.
I have used something similar, which was supposed to be like a zero latency kind of jam platform during the pandemic. And it was an absolute pain in the butt to try to set up. And I couldn't get it to work. I said, forget it. I'm not even going to bother anymore. So I'm still old school. If you want to join the band, you got to come in the room. You got to come meet me face to face. That's Legend? How we do it.
Or 2 or 3 locking nut in the house. Chris was asking if you're still using the gig rig.
I am. Yes, I am. Nice. I don't have my pedal board up here. It's actually downstairs right now, but I would show you. But yeah, I'm still using it. Nice. I don't think I could do any gig without it, really. It's a big help.
Right on. Bunch of questions here. That's great stuff coming in, folks. Keep it coming. We enjoy that. Yes. I did see earlier somebody had asked us our favorite pedal of 2024. I don't know if I've played a pedal that was released this year, to be honest with. Well, and I bought my Keeley, the Noble Screamer. I bought this year, but it was actually sitting on hold since last year.
Yeah. Well, if it's new to you this year,
yes,
that's what matters. Oh man, favorite pedal. I guess favorite pedal so far. I'll go out on a limb here. You know what? It's like, oh, what has come out this year that it's like, oh, what
Yeah,
can
I'm just racking my brain.
I'm literally going to my channel right now and looking up the playlist for all the demos this year because that's how terrible my memory is. Let's see.
And I'm resisting the urge to do a Google search for best pedals of 2024, just so I know, or pedals released this year, to know what was even released.
Well, just going off of what I've done so far this year, and there, I don't know how many more there are going to be. It's really hard to argue with the expansion of the 4-in-1 series that Keeley did with the with the Super Rodent, the Blues Disorder, the Angry Orange. Then there's the Andy Timmons Drive pedal, which I actually demoed twice this year in case anybody's curious.
I got the AT mod that came out last year, but
oh, nice.
I assume that's morphed into one of his new pedals some way.
Yeah, the Super AT mod is basically the Mark III driver with the AT RK switches in the AT position.
Right. Okay.
But
hey, Gear Junkie.
It's really tough to say what of these would be considered my favorite because I use the Keeleys. I currently have the Super Rodent, the Blues Disorder, and the Muse driver, the early version of the Mark III driver, same pedal, on the board right now. And that's my drive section for the church rig. And it works perfectly. Whoa, $99 deal on a Boss Slicer. That's a deal. Now, is it the small one or is it the big one?
That's the question.
That's the question we need to know.
And I like Dan's line. I got my King of Tone after waiting 5 years and 11 months, so it was a good year. Yes. Yay.
I'm still waiting.
Proof of concept. Proof of concept.
I'm still waiting. And
now the question is, do you get it at the price when you went on the wait list? Is that the price you pay? Or
oh, please. Of course not.
No, I didn't.
Of course not. You're paying these inflated prices now.
Right.
But oddly, it seems like our stuff has stayed relatively the same right now. But I would actually
not like the Halo. The Halo was such a game changer.
Perfect delay pedal. Absolutely perfect. Not a thing wrong with it. Absolutely perfect. It's tough.
Billy.
It's tough for me to pick a favorite of 2024 because the stuff that I've played has been really good. Right, but would I say did anything blow me away? Not really. I'll
go with the Keeley stuff for this year.
Having said that, I think what I've really enjoyed is I did a video on the small slicer. Still a great deal. Still a great deal. I feel like what I've really enjoyed this year is I've enjoyed seeing MXR do more than what they've done in the past. So I got to do a video on the Joshua, and then MXR, as a result of me doing that Joshua video, actually sent me that layers pedal. So that video on Joshua, and I really loved what Joshua had in it. Highlight Charles's question because this is actually a good thing for us.
Yes, because that was going to be my next question.
Yeah, I want to make sure we don't leave that one behind.
Yeah.
But it's just been really great to see a company that has been such a stalwart in guitar do stuff that's so outside what you normally would expect them to do. And I said in the Joshua video, this pedal really feels like it's going to be an indicator of a renaissance for what MXR could potentially be working on, and maybe bringing them back into the fold as a company to pay attention to.
Well, yeah, because it's kind of like they turned into Boss in the sense that it's there, it's a name, but I never think, I'm going out and getting the new Boss pedal, Sean. You don't
exactly,
unless it's a reissue of a cool Boss pedal from back in the day, some Wazzacroft, whatever. But
like with the SDE pedals,
right?
Like when those came out, it was just like, yo,
Yeah.
yes, please.
Well, that's my latest thing is, can I please get nothing but 80s rack gear, but basically in pedal form, so I can put on my pedal board?
Yep.
Like, I'm doing a live show, Kat, and you got bribes, so you go back upstairs.
That's great. Oh well, what are you gonna do? They're cats. They want attention. Yeah, so the MXR layers and the Joshua, it's just been really great to see MXR do some new stuff. Meanwhile, at the same time, they do the Yngwie Overdrive and the Randy Rhoads Distortion Plus.
Right.
So it's funny.
Yeah, because it's always like, well, what have they done since the carbon copy Bright? So like, a lot?
Yeah, a lot. Like a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But it's like, I don't know. I think it's like MXR. We think, oh, phasers, delays, modulation. Don't really think of MXR for drive pedals. Which is odd considering that's like the bread and butter of every other company, because let's be honest, the easiest circuit to make is an overdrive circuit.
Yeah.
But yet, you don't think, oh yeah, like until now, like, oh, you're coming right over. Look at you.
Well, I guess we're gonna get a different kind of drive-by.
Nope. Says, I don't think you're picking me up.
Oh, fine.
Just go off my carpet. That's fine.
Fine.
Oh, and
well then. Thanks a lot, Cat.
Yep. Thanks for stopping by. Sniff a guitar. Yep.
Jerk.
Yep. Well, cats are jerks. That's fine.
All right. So, shall we address Charles's question now?
Yes.
How do I know when I'm truly bonding with a piece of gear? There's a long
way. For me, it's easy. I'm so transparent, Sean. My demo's 30% longer because I just start noodling.
There you go.
Tangents. Demoing guitars and just because you're hearing stuff and you just go and.
There's a long answer to this question and a short answer to this question. Which answer would you prefer?
Both. No. You have to answer it twice.
I'll do the long and then I'll do a TLDR so that everybody will have to, so I would say the first the easiest way for me to figure out if I'm really bonding with something is how often do I pick it up and how often do I plug in. For example, we were talking about those 3 semi-hollows that I'd done demos of this year. When they came in this exact order, Tom DeLonge Starcaster, 3.5 weeks go by, Epiphone Dave Grohl comes in. Another 3.5 weeks go by, the EVH comes in. I had the Tom DeLonge guitar for a month and was picking it up constantly, using it in videos, trying to figure out where to incorporate it. The Dave Grohl, when that arrived, I was kind of picking both of them up, trying to figure out good way, because then I finally was like, all right, now I can prepare to shoot the videos. But I was still kind of gravitating towards the sound of the Tom DeLonge. The EVH showed up and it was like those two, the Dave Grohl sat in the case for a long time and the Tom DeLonge is hanging on the wall right now.
I get it.
The EVH has been picked up more than both of them because, as I've said earlier, I think it sounds the best, and especially for the kind of music that I like to play.
Right.
But then I got curious as to, okay, what else can it do?
Right.
So I took it to church a couple times and I played it on Sunday mornings. I'd play it for other things, just trying to figure out where else it could work. And then I'd just start playing it with my own stuff. And then it would start inspiring ideas. So if a piece of gear inspires me to write something, that usually is a pretty good indicator that it and I are gelling. But that's not something that always happens quickly. Sometimes it's a very long process. And I can only say that the reason that it will be a long process sometimes is because I get so much stuff in that I have to give everything its due.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't often do it in like chunks. It's like, today I have to focus on working with this thing.
Right.
Tomorrow I have to work on, getting to know this thing. Then the day after that is a day to edit videos. And the day after that is another day to edit videos. And then it has to pick back up again. So some things just take a long time, but usually for me, it's will it get me to create something is usually the biggest indicator. And then after that, it's like how much fun is it? Like when I pick it up, like, am I enjoying the experience?
Right.
And that's pretty much it. Can I create something with it? Can I have fun with it? And I think that there's definitely stuff that I can say, like, I can have fun with it, but I've never made anything with it. I've had stuff that I can be creative with, but I don't really have fun with it because sometimes it's just such a fight to get it to actually do the thing that I want it to do, which is sometimes why you don't see demos of certain gear that I have in the studio.
No, Blue Mox, you will not get kicked. See, I do lame dad jokes all the time, so nothing says church more than hot for preacher. Will I get kicked out of the channel for such lame comments?
No. You don't want to be a preacher on the receiving end of anything like that. No scandals. No scandals. We had enough of those scandals in the 80s. We don't need them now.
Right. Yeah, that was a good question, Charles. Thank you for that.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah. More questions like that, people. Bring them on in. Yeah. We're the gloves are off. Like, you got questions, we might have answers.
Yeah, we may have answers. Yeah, and I will say, you're able to sit down with the guitar for a period of time before shooting a demo, whereas I'm the opposite, where I literally am grabbing a guitar off the wall, make sure it's in tune, and then boom, shoot the demo. So that's how you know if I'm bonding initially, because it's like you're getting that honest first impression of a guitar
live.
And if I start going off on tangents, then I'm bonding with the guitar.
It's live without a net. Live without a net, baby. That's how you know with yours.
Yep.
That's what you do.
I did not bond with that Dave Grohl guitar. I was shocked for whatever reason. And like, I've played let's call it, the standard Epiphone 335. Right. I played some of the Bonamassa 335s. Then I played that one, and I just kind of went, and I don't know, it might be the pickups, because they are different pickups.
Yeah.
Yep. I can't say it's the shape of the holes, Sean. That's why I didn't like it. The shape of the hole.
Because diamonds are, if it's not an F hole, it just doesn't have the tone.
Right.
If it's diamond hole, I'm out. No.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Yeah.
Would it be the headstock?
I'm honestly not surprised that some people wouldn't.
Whereas I really didn't want to like the Tom DeLonge, and I really did.
Yeah. That's one of the most interesting things. I will say this about the Dave Grohl. One of the things that I always feel like, and I had a buddy who actually had a custom shop Trini Lopez for a while, which of course is what the Dave Grohl model is based on.
Yeah.
But he told me that he felt like it was the neck on the Trini that was really the problem for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed with the neck shape on the DG 335, it had kind of a similar idea.
Thicker neck.
Yeah, it was a much thicker neck, which I love. I love a good chunky neck. But it had he referred to it as shoulders on the neck. So it had a little bit more material around where when you have the neck in your hand, where this part around your thumb and this part on your index finger would go. It had that, except it didn't feel as extreme.
Mm-hmm.
as the Trini Lopez did. I have played Trini Lopez's as well. But that was an observation he made. So I definitely could see the neck shape being something that a lot of players wouldn't.
Yeah, because generally
with.
you expect that smaller 60s style neck on
Yeah.
335s.
And I think, well, that's with the 335s. And I have a feeling maybe I'd have to check the timeline on Trini's career and also when that model actually came out.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's entirely possible that he went with something that maybe is more in line with a neck that you'd play on you'd feel on an acoustic guitar.
Right.
Because I mean, he was a folk musician.
Now, as soon as you said it, I'm just saying that Dave Grohl neck is like an acoustic neck.
There you go.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
It's just a little more stout.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
exactly. But I also there was one interesting thing about the pickups in that I felt like, because they are USA burst buckers.
Yep.
I really like the neck pickup, and I really like the middle position. But the bridge pickup by itself was almost a little too peaky. So what I found myself doing with that is, if I'm using the bridge pickup by itself, I'm generally rolling the tone off a decent amount. And then if I want to do the middle position, I just, reach down and I roll it back up.
There is something magical about the middle position with two humbuckers.
Definitely. And that one especially, I think that has a really good middle position sound.
That's why I always end up playing Ohio in all my demos, because I go to middle position. If you have that good chime that a middle position does, you just can't help but start playing Ohio. It's just folk music, according to the guy.
Yeah.
But the guy trolled me about it. Then another guy, I was telling you, the anti-troll put, "No, you played some good stuff. Keep up the work," type thing. It's like, fuck this guy. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Yes, the central time zone position.
Yeah.
The central time zone is the middle position of time zones in America. Just saying.
Yep. I'm on the West Coast, people. So I don't know.
That's the bridge pickup.
I'm on the bridge. And hey, that's almost comical that we say that, because when you think about California, you think about surf music.
Right. Well, as opposed to, East Coast, I'm thinking, your D'Angelicos, all those jazz boxes that had nothing but a neck pickup.
There you go.
So there we go, folks. The more
guitar,
we got a thing for that. Hang on.
Yeah, we got a
brand
thing for that.
Yep.
Oh, I love it.
Yep.
I love it. So good.
Dropping knowledge, folks.
Dropping it. Like it's hot.
Yes, and 2 and 4 on a Strat is not a middle position. That's a completely different thing. It's out of phase. It's a totally different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Closest you can get for Fender is a middle position on a Telecaster, which again does a really cool chimey thing.
Nothing sounds like it.
It's different than the middle position on a Gibson.
West
Coast is the best coast. And that's coming from someone that lives on the East Coast.
Go Dodgers. Sorry, I'm checking the score of the game. It's game 6 of the NLCS tonight. Ooh. And if the Dodgers win, it's going to be a Yankees and Dodgers World Series, baby. That's going to be
a good thing. That's a good thing. That's been a minute.
That's a good thing for baseball.
Two legacy franchises, yes.
Yep, that's a good thing for baseball.
Yep. It's like the third coast. Is that like third base, Marshall Murray? The Gulf.
Oh, the Gulf. Yeah, that is the third coast. I like that. The third coast.
I never thought of it that way, Murray, but thank you. I appreciate that. Nice.
I keep forgetting that.
There's Ryan Hall, finally. Whoops. Our music in law.
Hey,
on the road
pal.
to Mothers.
Good to see you.
Great to see you, Ryan.
Keep.
Mountain is like that. That's the out of phase 4th position. Oh, I said it. And Michael Krause, you spelled Blue Jays wrong. I'm just saying. Gotta do it.
You Canadians and your one soul baseball team. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, thought I completely forgot that I could actually scroll through this chat myself and see things. I haven't streamed in so long, and like I haven't even done like anything like this where I guessed on a stream.
It's only been 3 years. Not that I was, brushing up on the channel, doing my research.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that. Like when I stopped doing the streams, and I'm in hindsight, I'm glad I did stop. I think at the time that I did, it was just streams were more trouble than they were worth for me.
Right.
And
based on your video schedule, it was kind of right at the worst possible time. Like,
yeah.
If you did on a Tuesday as opposed to a Thursday, possibly it would, but I get it.
Yeah. And, I think especially during the dark times,
because there's an audible difference with the middle position. The audience knows.
I would say, yeah, during the dark times, it was like everybody was really, really getting on streaming, whether it was a YouTube channel, whether it was Twitch or anything. It was like every freaking platform had a live component.
Yeah, it's like they used the lockdown of 2020 to kind of figure it out, and then went full bore in 2021. And I'm just like, easy. Some of us are already doing this, folks.
Yeah, and I kind of struggled with this when I started because I was trying to find like the best time to do it.
Right.
And then you want to be like cognizant of people that like and you respect, and you're not going to take that. You don't want to take their audience necessarily. But at the same time, like the platforms have just gotten pretty terrible for growth. You really gotta do it, and you really gotta do a lot to get them to actually put you in front of eyeballs. It's
right.
The algorithmic nature with which the internet works these days has absolutely killed the organic free market of the internet.
Oh yeah, now it's all gotta do a clickbait title and thumbnail, and I don't play those games. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I actually
if you see me say, "Is this the best ever?"
Yeah.
Just don't even click on it, folks.
I actually had somebody accuse me of doing something clickbaity, and I was like, I didn't make a promise that I couldn't keep in the video.
No, and sorry for making a quality thumbnail that jumps out.
Yeah.
Because I'll look at it a couple times, I'm like, is Sean doing something clickbait? I'm like, no, that's actually just well done.
Thank you.
It's not like, could this be a game changer? Well, but then it's like, it might be, let's say it's the Halo. And I'm like, well, fuck yeah, that could be a game changer. So
yeah, it could.
You're allowed that.
For somebody out there, that could be the thing.
Right.
So it's, I don't know, man. You and I were talking a little bit beforehand about like the way things are evolving and the way things are changing, and like where my thought process is. And, I've definitely, I don't know how many people watching this right now are on my email list. I know there's a few people, but
speaking of which, Terry's got the website there. If you haven't already, folks, check it.
Yes.
Get on the mailing list.
Yes,
I'm on the mailing list.
Because if you do, most dudes, they're like, oh, you got to pay me like $10 a month on Patreon to get early access to videos. I don't play that game. I haven't had a Patreon in years. You just get that.
What's up, Eric?
You get sent the emails with all the videos, but I just sent everybody 4 videos. 4. So you get to see 4 videos that would take a normal person a month to see.
Yes.
And it's different than what I've done before. I've always been the demo guy. Yes. But over the course of the last year and a half, 2 years, I've been feeling like there's got to be something else. Because this demo thing, it's fun. Oh, yeah, he gets all this really cool gear. But it's really frustrating when it's like, how much more of this? I mean, I'm basically just telling you whether or not you should spend your money. I'm actually not doing that much to help you. So it's like, what if I just started helping guitar players? And so I started asking questions of my YouTube subscribers,
Yep.
asking them about their struggles,
Mm-hmm.
what it is the thing that they're most concerned about. And I put out the feeler. Would you guys be interested if I actually made some attempts at doing some teaching videos? And a lot of people responded really well to that. Better than I expected, because I don't have a foundation as a teacher. I've taught lessons in the past.
I do know that, Earl, but it's also bad etiquette to mention other live streams in a live stream chat. Just saying. Although, yeah, I am well aware. Pete Thorne's, we're opening for Pete Thorne tonight, folks. Pete's usually my opening act, but tonight I give the kid a break and
yeah, of course. But so, yeah, I finally just bit the bullet and got in and started doing some teaching videos. So if you're not on the email list, I will say this, because of the automation I have set up with the email provider right now, you won't get that email yet, but you will get future videos in that series coming to you before they get published.
And also, yeah, Stephen Douglas was asking where he could check out your live streams for your worship.
Oh, yeah. Just highlight the question. We'll get to that in a minute.
Because he mentioned, this was a different one, but that one reminded me of the previous one. So.
Yeah, I had seen that and I was looking for it and I completely lost it. Yeah. So long story short, I'm going to be doing some teaching videos now. And
which really, it's a great idea, Sean, because I know you know shit. I know you know shit. No, but the demo game, it used to be like you're almost legacy in that respect. Like, here's a product, check it out, live with it for a while, make a video, as opposed to, oh, this comes out today, so there's 18,000 demos of the same, and they all drop at 11 a.m. Eastern.
And I told a couple of a couple companies that I saw at NAMM, like, guys, I love you and I want to keep working with you, but I'm not doing launch day anymore.
No,
I'm not doing it.
It's stupid, because I'm sorry, you're only going to watch, like, even if you're subscribed to 20 channels that release it, you're watching 3 demos tops of the same product.
The first one you're watching because you're curious. The second one you're watching because you actually really want to know more. And then on the third one, by that time, you've decided that you're going to buy. So I'm always hoping to be the third one you watch, because maybe you'll use my affiliate links.
Exactly. Martian Murray says, I like SPJ's middle of the night premieres.
Hey, man, I like putting my videos up right at midnight. Yep. That's what I like. It's been the way that I've done it for years. And I really started doing it when more of my audience was from foreign countries. Once I started seeing that,
I get it, BC.
Yes, I understand that too.
Guess what? You'll never see a demo of on this channel.
And a Fender Acoustasonic.
Right. It's one of the reasons Fender doesn't like me.
I almost got one years ago when Fender was sending me guitars, but they were just never in stock. So anyway, that's that. So yeah, teaching videos will start going up. If you're not signed up for the email list now, you won't see the first 4, but you will see the future ones to come before they go out. You'll also see demos before they go out before. The link to sign up is SeanPierceJohnson.com/email. Very simple.
And at most you get your 1 a week.
Yeah. 1, maybe 2. Maybe 2.
Yeah.
There might be a few more coming up in the next little chunk of time, because I'm actually working on some other fun stuff that I want people to be a part of. And I actually want people watching this and people who are on my email list and who actually explicitly express their support of what I do. I want their involvement and I want their input.
Exactly.
So there's that. So we'll have lessons on Wednesdays. They're going up at midnight. Demos, whatever they are, pedals, guitars, amps, those go up Saturdays, midnight. And that's the way
and
that
of course,
it's going to be.
And of course, subscribe up to his YouTube channel, which
Please.
Closing in on 12,000 subscribers.
13,000, but
13,000. All right, I forgot to carry the one.
You're okay. You're okay. I actually, funnily enough, the other day I was joking around with my wife. We were talking, and she's like, "Oh, you got like this many subscribers right now," and I just rattled off the accurate count of the subscribers I had, simply because like 5 minutes before the conversation, I looked at my analytics, and I enjoyed it. Like X amount, 12,475, but who's counting?
Right.
I actually just looked at the number. Thank you to everybody from these live streams that's gone over there and subbed. I really appreciate that. Yeah, we had the question.
I like promoting stuff I like to watch. What can I say?
Thank you. Hey, I appreciate it. I wish I could do more to promote more of what I like, but I don't know.
You got to go and buy a calendar and hang it on the door. And geez,
I'm actually kind of terrible at the social media stuff now. Like I'm just legit terrible at it. Like it's just annoying to me now. Okay, I don't want to post stuff. I make myself post stuff.
Right.
So it's like I did the PGM 50 video. When did I put that up? Last Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I shared links on Facebook. I haven't even posted like any clips of it the other day. So there you go.
Well, there you go. Searching for Tony. He gained 23 subs today, which was awesome. But also, I'll say because of the way the algorithms were, Sean, that Searching for Tone, he's got, he's on his way to the 1,000, but he's got his own whole sub community of his own. Like I was seeing people in Charles' chat this morning I hadn't seen before, and hell, I gained 5 subs today. I think based off the two of them recommending. So you're doing something right because you're definitely cultivating your own audience, and I appreciate. He was giving me shout outs and stuff, and I appreciate it because most of the time that's how we grow our channels. As much as we got to stick to the punk rock thing. It's word of mouth.
Yeah. I get a lot of comments from people asking if I'll demo a certain piece of gear.
Right.
And I always say the best way to ensure if you want me to demo a piece of gear is you tell the companies to send me stuff. I can contact companies until the cows come home. But if you are a purchasing person and you tell a company, I'll spend money on your product, but I want to know what he thinks of it first.
Right.
A cost for a pedal that maybe retails for $300 is not that much. No. And they might pay my demo fee, but at the end of the day, the cost of the pedal is one thing. That'll just be considered marketing material.
Mm-hmm.
The cost of my demo, they're going to make it more than half of that up.
What's up, fruitcake?
They're going to make more than half of that up with your purchase.
Right.
So within 2 purchases, people...
Yeah, if I move 10 units for you, it's more than paid for itself.
Exactly.
And guess what, folks? We move more than 10 units for companies. Even I can do that. But they're like, oh, you don't have 100,000 subscribers? We don't.
Oh, isn't that annoying? It's so annoying.
What does that matter? Okay, first of all, folks, and I've done this rant before. Sean, you'll agree. YouTube is used 2 ways comparatively to other social media. One, it's like Facebook. It's social, it's community-based, the live stream, that's very social, so it's like Facebook. The rest of the time, people are using that search feature like Google. They're like MXR Joshua demo. Boom. Now they're watching. You might get a thumbs up, you might get a sub, you might get a comment, but 99% of the viewers are just going to watch it, move on, and they don't give a flying fadoo about the rest of our lives as YouTubers. They just want to get a search result, and that's it.
It's true. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world.
Yeah. And guess what, folks? Yeah. So our follower count, they're like, what's your market penetration? I'm like, what's yours?
Yeah, seriously. And it's, I do follow a few like social media experts, that tell you all like the best practices and what not to do while you're trying to do this crap. But they always say like, oh, followers are a vanity metric. Followers and I are a vanity metric. Followers are a vanity metric. And it's like, no, there are still industries where a follower count really is a factor in people deciding what they're going to do with you.
Exactly. Well, it's like for me booking guests, if I can get a certain type of guest, which I have for years, which is great. But let's say I want to get George Lynch on. They look at this as, is it like the Tonight Show? Like how many millions of people am I reaching? Right. Well, you're not, but
right.
Who knows? You may, but you'll get a lot of love from your fan base by doing it.
Right.
So
for sure. We completely missed that question. Where did we?
Oh yeah. And Stephen Douglas was asking where we can find your live streams of the worship.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, that's the first time anybody's asked about that, so that's kind of nice. Yeah,
usually we're a bunch of dirty heathens, Sean.
This is
the shining light in the chat, I guess. Beacon for other chatters.
I've been told I don't pass judgment on anyone because I'm as much of a dirty, rotten scoundrel and as anybody has ever been. I've done stuff in my life that I'm not proud of, but I came out the other side and I accepted, and I'm here for you guys now. Right. This is my salt and light in the world, as I am called to be. This is part of me going out into the world. But anyway, the church is called Oceans Church. We stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. I try to.
I do that church live streaming on a Sunday.
What? Live. Oh, that'll be me. I'll be your next time I play on a Sunday morning. I'll be your opener.
Nice.
There you go. So we have our Tuesdays and Thursdays are at 10 a.m. and then Sundays are at 9:30. I generally, if I'm playing, I try to remember to share the link, but I don't often remember to share the link.
Right.
So if you really want to see, go subscribe to the channel, get the notification, and you'll be able to see it. I'm going to try to do a better job of sharing the link for when I am playing so that people will actually be able to see it. I know I've had interest in watching me in that context before, but I'm just not. It's usually because those mornings are always so, one, they're really early. Two is that they are so busy. It is so unreal how busy those mornings get.
Mm-hmm.
Because you wake up early, you get there, you set up, you immediately start your sound check and rehearsal. And then between that point, there's maybe like 15 to 20 minutes where you actually have a moment to just collect yourself before things get rolling. And then you got to go.
Right.
And it's showtime. So I don't often get the chance to do it. But they've actually been doing a pretty good job of sharing the links and making them accessible nice. For people to find on like Instagram. The worship team does have its own Instagram account because our team does write music and we have released music. So you can usually see it there. I'll be sharing more of it as it happens. So don't worry. Just stay focused. I'll probably share it more. I'll try to do the YouTube link in the community tab on my channel.
Which YouTube is actually promoting the community post much more now. I notice it becomes a shelf on the desktop.
Yeah. I think the one thing that they're not doing right though is that they seem to do it's odd because it seems like should not, since it's a feed of posts, not videos, but it's a feed of posts on my YouTube channel that I'm sending a YouTube link for people to watch a YouTube video on my YouTube channel.
Right.
By that reasoning, should we not also get decent activity of people watching? Like whenever I share a link to a video on the community tab, there's 0 to 3 thumbs up reactions.
Right.
If I share a photo, which as I did, I was the photo of the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, that got 15 thumbs up and some comments.
Well, I was going to comment myself, but I couldn't include a photo because I'm like, my dad, when he was gigging, just throw a cowboy hat on him. My dad and Jimmy Hart, the hair, the beard.
That's awesome.
You know, the difference was Dad didn't wear sunglasses because he had prescription glasses. But
well, there you go.
Same idea, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll try to share the links more, either on Instagram or on the community tab. You'll have some opportunities to see. And generally, that's also a proving ground for new gear for demos. So you might hear something before you see the demo of it.
See, so Steven says he plays for a large church in the Baltimore area. It's a huge production with a lot of... I thought it said pyro for a sec. Pro caliber engineers and players. I agree about it being... lots of pyro. I'm like, damn! All right, what's going on here at this church? Like, I was like, is this a church for the other side? Like, what are we doing here? It's all like red lights and flash bombs. I'm like, okay.
Hey, we've got...
He was also asking what your rig is, which makes sense, because he's doing a similar gig.
Right. Well, the main amp that I use, because we don't get to use amps, unfortunately. Maybe in the future. Me and the sound engineer, we're kind of on our push, because we're in a building right now.
He emits the smoke machines, Sean, but no pyro.
Oh yeah, we got smoke machines too. We got smoke machines and lights. No pyro. LED screens. We got that.
Yeah.
We're in a building right now that we're technically renting. So we're not going to be doing like too much. Oh, excuse me. We're not going to be doing too much in the way of renovations to it anymore. But we are building out our permanent home right now. And he and I are both kind of on this, like, hey, maybe we could make the case for having like a permanent, back line.
Right.
Like this is just what we have. So there's a possibility in the future. But right now, it's the main amp is the Walrus Audio ACS1, which for silent stage stuff, for stereo guitar rig, is perfect. I don't need anything more than that. And then from there, it's just a bunch of pedals. I actually on the floor right now have a piece of gear that I'm experimenting with.
Wow. Stephen Douglas says I demand to use amps. I've used a Landau Fender DeVille for years. So far, I continue to win that fight.
That's great. I love those Fender.
I always say if they make the guitar players play without amps, then the drummers have to use Simmons drums. That's it.
That's a very interesting point.
They put a plexi around the drummer. Well, put a plexi around my amp and call me Joe Bonamassa.
Yeah, seriously. So I've been experimenting with this, which is it's the Nu X Trident. So you guys may remember years ago they put out a pedal similar looking to this. It was called the Cerberus.
Yes.
And that was kind of it was analog drives, digital modulation, and other effects. And this is completely like this is kind of their attempt at a Helix, a quad Cortex kind of thing.
Right.
Stereo DI output
knobs.
There are actual knobs on there, which is good. foot switch, built-in tuner. There's a built-in looper. There's a bunch of different amp models and effects. All sound generally pretty good. I'm experimenting with it right now to do for the demo of it. It also has a mono effects loop, stereo outputs.
Nice.
So I'm experimenting with it to try to see if there's a context where I could use this at church, just so that it's a little less that I have to deal with on those mornings.
John's like,
they they let this underworld stuff. Well, Cerberus is technically not the underworld. Cerberus is the three-headed dog in Greek mythology. So I don't think he guards the underworld, or maybe he guards the entrance to the underworld. Is a clean trio of amps that is the core of my tone. Now there you go. That's
nice.
Great.
Nice.
That's great. So
there's an favorite worship player.
I'm not the guy to ask that question.
I don't know.
I'm not the guy to ask that question because
I'm going to go with Sean because I know Sean. So there we go.
That's too much.
I don't listen to worship music, so I don't know, but I know he plays it and I like him. So there we go.
I didn't grow up in the world. So that world, I wasn't listening to that music. So I have no basis.
My closest reference is Striper. That's it for me. You know,
which is not,
and the occasional Amy Grant song that crossed over into pop,
which is not a bad thing to have.
No,
and it's right now is a really weird time because almost everything, often referred to as the Hound of Hades, the multi that guards the gates to the underworld. Yeah, prevent the dead from leaving. Well, Hades is technically just the underworld. It's the afterlife. It's not necessarily hell. So that's another thing entirely. I would take a three-headed dog guarding anything any day of the week. Yeah, I'm not really into a lot of the guitar work that I hear in the genre these days with a lot of the stuff that we end up playing. It's all very simplistic and it tends to rely on the effects more than on any actual creative part. Having said that, there have been some of those parts where it's a bit more simplistic, but it leans into the effect that are good.
Right.
We played a Jesus Culture song like a month back where I actually was able to, I took the Dave Grohl Epiphone with me that day and I tuned it down a whole step. So I was we were playing, I think in D, and I was able to get this just like really great sound with that guitar tuned down. And I really leaned on the Halo's dotted eighth delay for that, made it kind of sound like a little bit like a Memory Man kind of thing. And it just that sound with a good washy stereo reverb really made the sound, and that made the part. So that's one thing. But at the end of the day, I guess I really always have appreciated the fact that a guy like Stu G, because Delirious, he was using like fuzzes and like Marshalls,
right,
and not just like clean Fenders and Voxes. Like there was some proper rock in that.
Sure.
So that I can gravitate towards, but I couldn't tell you like a lick of his, a part of his, or anything of his that I'm like, oh, it just blew me away because I didn't listen to it. I
get it. Go. Awesome. Yeah, I see a lot of Strymon stuff. And silent switchers. All I know is worship music caused all the pedal builders to go to silent switchers in their pedals, whereas I used to like the crack of thunder. That was a good sign of quality switch to me. And then they're like, nope, can't have those anymore. I'm like,
yeah.
All right, easy with the clickety clacks. All right.
Well, you know the thing with the click clack switches, it's like in certain. I am aware of Lincoln Brewster. I should have brought that up. I know who he is. So he's and I've heard him. He's a good player, but I don't know the genre in that world very well at all. Man, the click of the switches for me, especially playing the high gain stuff, depending on the circuit, sometimes that pop is just too pop. It's too audible. So I have appreciated the switch to the silent switches. Like, for example, right now, I actually have my mic pre that I'm using for this microphone on the floor right now to mute myself with my foot, but there's no audible pop.
Right.
And it's nice and smooth, and it just works. So I appreciate that. That the softer switches have allowed for that pop to go away. So I don't have to worry about it being like, kapah! And it's like, no, please stop.
I like the loud switch as long as it wasn't loud in the circuit, which generally you can't have one without the other.
It's I can't remember who it was. I think it was talking about a Hendrix recording where someone's like, you can tell where he steps on that fuzz face because it's almost like you hear a ka-thunk
Right.
when he kicks on the fuzz face, and it's like I could see that.
True enough on that. We're gonna go for a couple more minutes here, folks. Any last questions? Get them on in. Then we got Pete Thorne at the top of the hour, live from Tokyo, because he's a real rock star that travels to Japan to do clinics and
Stuff.
random concerts and stuff. Yeah, must be nice.
Must be.
Then again, he had to play with Don Henley, so he's put in his work. The man gave him guff for the color of his shoes, Sean.
Wow.
I'm just like easy, and it's not like he was wearing some weird shoes. He was wearing brown shoes, and in this band we wear black shoes. Didn't you used to have an afro? Easy there, Don Henley.
Oh boy. Some people have just very weird ways of very weird things.
Friday took him 2 hours to find a bad cable. Were you sober? Because we also invited him on a live stream because he may have eaten a big edible and then he was trying to tune a 12 string and couldn't. I'm like, oh, send him the link. We need to see this live because I'm always up for a train wreck. And
it's hard enough to tune a 12 string on a good day.
Right?
Why would you do that? Why would you make it harder on yourself?
Bo likes a challenge, I guess. I don't know.
That doesn't sound like a challenge. It just sounds like a pain.
Or you could be like another guy in the chat who buys a 12 string and then just leaves it in the case shoved under his desk for a year and a half because he's afraid to restring it.
Well,
I'm not mentioning any names, but I've seen him in the chat tonight.
He's not going to mention names publicly, but he's going to tell me afterward, so I'll know.
There we go. Yeah, exactly. First of all, Ryan, by definition, all flat tops are acoustics. It's flat top and there's arch top acoustics. There's two types of acoustics back in the day. But do you have a favorite flat top?
I've only ever played flat top acoustics, so there you go.
Right.
And I only have
people play an arch top F-hole anymore because they're not common.
It makes total sense, if you think about it, because why would you want an acoustic guitar where the sound hole is coming out of two smaller areas of the guitar?
Mark Ignacy claims it's a third louder. I'm like, I agree to disagree on that one.
I really like Mark.
Yeah.
So I won't discredit.
But then again, that's in a Gibson endorsed video. So
I see.
I It's a little bit infomercial there, folks. There's some propaganda
I won't
involved.
discredit him for having an opinion. You know, everybody's entitled to an opinion, and having not played a traditional flat top against a traditional arch top acoustic, I cannot say with any certainty what is louder.
Now, maybe at the time when they invented, because Martin was still doing the smaller parlor guitars, it wasn't until they went to the dreadnought size that they got much louder and boomy. And
I have heard people say that,
thanks, Bruce,
as far as projection goes, oh, thank you. I have heard people say that no, that they're the Selmer style acoustics that Django played, those have a lot of projection. Those are loud. I wouldn't know. I've not gotten to play one. However, I recently discovered that there is apparently a shop in Laguna Beach, which is not far from me,
right,
that specializes in gypsy jazz guitars.
Ooh.
So I might have to see if there's anything to this.
Right.
Just might.
Ryan says, okay, Ben, or non-acoustic guitar. What? So electric guitar. Pickups or non-acoustic. What? Pickups or non-acoustic guitar. That makes no sense. Pickups or electric guitar? Think about it, Ryan. Get back to us. I'm just saying. I'm not sure what that means. Excuse my redneck. No, that's not redneck. That's I'm not sure what that is, Ryan. I'm not sure. I love Ryan. He makes me think. Sometimes too much, but that's okay. He likes ovations himself, so there is that. He's got an OG Glenn Campbell signature ovation.
Oh, that's a good that's a good one to hold on to.
or someone else has gotten into the gummies. There's that possibility. You know, we don't know, Bo, but hey, there's that. So
I pass no judgment on anybody wanting to take gummies, but I pass judgment on why you would want to make the complicated job of restringing a 12-string more complicated.
Right? I don't know. I noticed the comment made towards the 12-string owner has not commented in the chat to make himself known. I'm just saying, so you can count out all these fine folks right here. That's okay.
Well, then.
Well, I think we'll probably wrap things up here because it's been an amazing show.
Yeah,
We've talked with guitars and pedals and amplifiers and musical genres, and the fact that the good professor here is going to release some courses for you fine students. And
yes, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I really hope that you guys check it out, because I really enjoyed making the videos. It came together really well. I think you guys will dig it. First one goes up this Wednesday.
I wasn't going to say.
I don't know. I don't know who this person is. I'm in the dark right now. What is happening? So yeah, first lesson video will be going up on Wednesday at midnight, because that's what I do. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I really hope you guys enjoy it. Please check it out. There's plenty other things.
I already know there's probably going to be some that I'll watch just because I'll be like, I know it, don't know that. All right.
Yeah, right. And hey, they're all supposed to be 10 minutes or less. So
see, it's not a Rick Beato seminar, folks. Not to dig on Rick, but sometimes he'll lose me in the first minute and a half, and it's an hour-long video. And I'm like, this is not good.
I should just mute my microphone right now. I'm sorry. I should give props to Rick, and I don't really know when it comes to the teaching stuff, I don't really know if he's helping anybody or not.
Well, I don't know if he does much of that anymore anyways. Now he's just hanging out with rock stars, interviewing them, which, hey, not a bad gig.
Not a bad gig at all.
So what do you want to do? Talk about triads or interview Jerry Cantrell? I want to interview the rock star.
Yeah, right. I want to interview the rock star. But yeah, I'm waiting for Rick now I'll just be the guy that teaches you guitar.
Yeah.
And it's all 10 minutes or less, so you can easily fit it into your busy day. Fit it in where
you get a pass because Bo went to college for music as well. So
I don't need his help.
He went for classical guitar in the 70s. So,
oh wow.
Yeah. So yeah. Easy Bo. But Bo also said he would love to have you come up on stage if you're touring through Michigan. We have a venue for you to play now.
Well, that's awesome. I don't know when that'll be, but whenever it does,
right,
gonna have to make some stuff happen.
There we go.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it. It's you guys are catching me at a very interesting time with a lot of new irons in the fire. And yeah, just come along for the ride. It'd be great to have you. And
it's an interesting synergy in my guest booking as of late. I'm just saying, yeah. It's like I reached out to you a while ago, and then all of a sudden this is dropping literally in my email the other day. And I went, oh, well, yeah, there we go. And things are happening. It's like, I was new.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, it just means a broken clock's right twice a day, folks. That's more what it is. And
yeah, and it like really it is like this stuff is new because I have not ever done teaching content before. And it's never been a focus, and it's never been anything that I've wanted to do. Demos were what I do.
Yep. But it made sense because I'd seen a bit of it. I just thought of this during your live streams, because you would play, demo. It was more of a demo as part of the live stream in a sense, or not the demo for the product, but a follow up, whatever. But then half the time somebody be like, "What are you doing there? What are you playing there?" You're like, "Oh, this," and you would, oh my god, actually explain, not, oh, I go here and then I go here and I do this. Which is the way I
watch me
something.
play this flat
you actually are
9-4-5 arpeggio over this static chord. Oh, that's so cool. You can totally use it in your music. Not
right.
Exactly. I told you I should have just muted my microphone.
Should have. Could have. Well, here we are. I've been Ben. He's been Sean. You've been you. And this has been the Sunday Night hanging here on Sunday. I'll be back tomorrow night with Canucks with Guitars, playing some songs. We got some bad album covers. Really, really disturbing stuff this week, folks. I'm just going to say, you might need therapy. You might need therapy. Have a great night, folks. Hold those doors open. Let Sean in ahead of you in traffic, because he's on his way to either play gypsy jazz or not.
Yeah.
Haha. You're happy tone chasing as always. And, of course, that's the wrong button. There we go. Don't litter.